All right, today we are diving into one of the biggest decisions you'll make for your new business. Maybe the biggest, choosing its legal structure. And trust me, this isn't just boring paperwork. It's the actual blueprint for everything you're about to build.
So you've got it, right? That little spark, that one idea you just can't shake, the one that could really be something special. You're all fired up, ready to go. But then you hit that first big speed bump. And suddenly, you're at this confusing crossroads with signs pointing to sole proprietorship, liability, and incorporation. It's a huge choice that's going to define how much power you have, what you're on the hook for, and how your money works. And yeah, taking the wrong turn here can be a real headache to fix later on.
So before we get into the real-world stuff, the pros and cons, let's just dream for a second. If we could build the absolute perfect, no-compromises business structure from the ground up, what would make the list?
Well, if you ask the experts, the dream business would be super easy and cheap to get going. And most importantly, it would have what's called limited liability. That's the big one. It means your personal stuff, your house, your car, is safe if the business gets into trouble. It would also be a piece of cake to raise money. It'd be flexible and built to last. All of that with almost no government red tape. Sounds pretty good, right?
But of course, back in the real world, no single option checks every single box. It's really about picking the right vehicle for the specific trip you're about to take. So let's meet our three main options.
First up, you've got the sole proprietorship. Think of this as the zippy little scooter of the business world. It's perfect for one person, incredibly easy to start, and great for cruising around town. The key thing here is you are the business, and the business is you.
Next, we have the partnership. This is kind of like a two-seater car. You're not riding solo anymore. You get to share the driving, split the cost of gas, and navigate with a co-pilot. You're pooling your money and your skills to get where you're going. And finally, there's the company. This is the big bus. It's designed to carry a whole lot of people. We're talking investors and shareholders, and it's built for the long haul. It's definitely the strongest, most robust option, but it comes with a lot more rules of the road and way more paperwork just to get it out of the garage.
Okay, now for the fun part. We've met our three vehicles. Let's put them to the test and see how they actually stack up against our perfect business wish list on the issues that really count.
First round, and honestly, this might be the most important one. How much personal risk are you actually taking on? We're talking about keeping your own stuff, your home, your car, your savings account, safe and sound.
And this right here is the night and day difference. With a sole proprietorship or a partnership, you have unlimited liability. There is no legal wall between your business and your personal life. If the business gets sued, guess what? They can come after your house. A company, on the other hand, gives you that crucial shield of limited liability. It builds a legal wall to protect your personal finances.
Okay, so protection is one thing, but what about growth? If you've got big ambitions, you need fuel in the tank, and that fuel is capital. So how easy is it to get the money you need to really scale up?
For sole proprietorships and partnerships, you're pretty much limited to what's in your own bank account or what you can convince a bank to lend you. But a company is literally designed for this. It can sell shares, little pieces of the business, to investors, which lets you bring in way more cash to fund those big dreams.
So a company gives you more protection and better access to money. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? Well, what's the catch? Let's get into our final round. What does it actually take to get up and running?
And here it is. This is the fundamental trade-off. A sole proprietorship or a partnership is all about simplicity and speed. Seriously, you could decide to start one today and be in business tomorrow. A company, though, trades all that simplicity for a much more complicated setup with a lot more legal hoops to jump through and rules to follow.
So, we've seen the big trade-offs, right? It's simplicity versus protection. It's personal control versus the ability to scale. There's just no single right answer. It's all about finding the structure that fits what your business actually needs.
The question you should be asking isn't, what's the best business structure? It's, what's the best structure for me and for my vision? And to figure that out, you really only need to answer three simple questions.
First, how much cash do you need? Are we talking about a small startup fund, or are you going to need major investment down the road? Second, what's your comfort level with risk? Is that limited liability shield and non-negotiable for you? And third, how much control do you want to have? Do you want to be the one and only person calling the shots, or are you cool with sharing decisions with partners or a board of directors?
Once you answer those questions, the best fit usually becomes pretty clear. If you're a freelancer or opening a small local shop where you want total control, a sole proprietorship is probably your best bet. If you're starting a law firm where you're pooling talent, a partnership makes a ton of sense. And if you're planning a huge operation with big growth plans, well, the company structure is almost always the way to go.
You see, it all boils down to this one simple truth. You're not looking for some one-size-fits-all solution. You're looking for the option that's tailor-made for your specific business, your specific goals, and your specific vision.
So, as you go forward with that amazing idea of yours, try not to think of this as just some legal checkbox you have to tick. This is the foundation. It's the very first and maybe the most important block you're going to lay, and it's what everything else you build is going to rest on, so choose it wisely.